We're about to be talking about something that's a little bit more of a sensitive topic today. I don't really like to make light of these things. In fact, I typically never make light of these things because it's very serious. And it's one of those situations that has to be handled with care. Because as you guys know, I, as a content creator, have been falsely accused of, well, I've certainly never been accused of anything involving sexual assault or harassment or rape or anything like that, or grooming or anything. I was accused of having a sex cult. A consensual sex cult, apparently, but somehow that was still a bad accusation. Even though it was made up, I still got a lot of shit for it, right? And it was completely false. Oh god, my nose. Why won't it stop? Anyway, it was completely false, right? And despite that, I still got a lot of shit for it. And had I not responded to it the way that I did, with a thorough video debunking it with strong evidence, then I probably would not have recovered financially and, career-wise from said false allegations. Consensual sex cult isn't a thing. Speak for yourself, Freya P. Kark. You have not seen some of the polycules on the left. Anyway, with that said, the consensual ones. With that said, I think that it's very important to recognize that 99.9% of the time, any accusations made about sexual misconduct are probably going to be true. It takes a lot of bravery, and it is very, very... There's a scarring to your reputation and to your pride that comes along with being sexually violated and talking about it publicly, even if justice is met out, that people don't really realize or talk about, I feel like. I recently spoke to somebody who was an SA victim, a sexual assault victim, and something they told me that really stuck with me was the fact that telling people made them feel like the people that knew, even if they, kind of pitied them or saw them as less capable and prideful, and like a bit of their a lot of their pride has been taken away, and sort of their strength, so to say. It's hard to put into words, but I imagine those that have experienced it and those that have spoken to those that have experienced it or have been in the proximity of those that have experienced it know what I'm talking about. So with that said, even faking allegations like this for profit comes with a hard toll, which is why it is overwhelmingly rare for somebody to fake allegations like this. The only time I acknowledge that it is likely to consider it as that is worth considering it as a likelihood is typically when it comes to public figures. Public figures are pretty much the only people that you have anything to gain from making false accusations about, and it has historically happened. Is it rare? Yes. Does it happen? Yes. And when there is someone's entire career on the line, I do think it's worth taking the allegations seriously and evaluating the likelihood and the truthfulness of said allegations. With all that said, YouTube's newest beloved content creator that has had some, pretty problematic, allegations sent their way is Boyinaband. Now, these allegations are fresh off the press, absolutely steaming hot, like a goddamn freshly baked loaf of bread. And Boyinaband has not yet responded. Not quite yet, though after we finish watching this video, we will be checking his Twitter to see if he has yet, or if he has been active on social media. As far as I'm aware, though, he has not responded to these allegations. Now, these allegations take the form of several posts and, on Reddit and different social media. So thankfully, a friend of the channel, and dare I say, fan of yours truly, Xanderhall, did a video just 17 hours ago, I believe, 7 hours ago, breaking all of this down. Jaden, a commentary channel, has done a video talking about this and discussing these allegations. I think it is important for us to, go over them and discuss them. And frankly, to talk about how they are being handled. Because I think you guys can imagine that when a large, popular male figure on the internet, such as Boyinaband, who has a very ooh soft boy aesthetic and a very sycophantic female audience of younger girls, in large part, you may imagine that, there might be a little bit of cringe in the discourse about all of this. And you'd be right. So, let's hop right into it. I'm going to go ahead and drop Jaden's video in the comment or in the chat here, and let you guys go send support. Do not just watch my stream. Go like the video. Go send support. Go subscribe. Go ring the bell icon. Like the video. All that stuff. Do the things. Make it so that we are not stealing content here. And with all that said, let's hop right into it.
I'm going to be talking about some very...
Whoa, I feel like it just cut right in here. All right, now we start.
In this video, I'm going to be talking about some very sensitive topics, and I want to make sure you guys know that these are just allegations. As of yet, Boyinaband has not responded to any of the claims made against him. Also, if you guys could like and share this video, that would be greatly appreciated, as most likely YouTube is not going to push this out due to the subject matter. So, I'm sure you guys know who Boyinaband is. He's a pretty popular YouTuber, has over...
So, how many of you know who Boyinaband is? Because I have been, I guess you could say, a fan of him since, like, the days of Filthy Frank and iDubbbz, and, yeah. He really is, like, one of those, like YouTube royalty figures. Though he has been kind of, like, in hiatus, I feel like, for a while. He hasn't really been, like, at the top of the headlines as far as YouTube drama and discussion goes for a little while now. I just know him for that one song. He's got a lot of pretty big songs, not just one. He did one with PewDiePie, though. He collabed with PewDiePie once. The one about school? Oh, yeah. Yeah. He did one about, like, fuck school. Never learned how to get a job, but I can remember dissecting a frog. That line is pretty fire. Those bars are pretty fire, I will admit. All right.
3 million subscribers and has worked with creators such as PewDiePie and
I said that.
Animations. Now,
I didn't say
a
that.
couple years ago, he ended up disappearing off of the internet. And over a year ago, he would post on his community tab talking about his struggles with his mental health and finding medication that could help him.
Whoa, okay. Can we mention on Twitter I'm trying some new meds. They were initially good, then things got really rough. A lot of confusing and varied thoughts and emotions. My psyche suggested, or my psychiatrist, I assume is what he meant here. My psychiatrist suggested I increase the dose, so I've done that today, 15 milligrams of acetylofram. Now up 10 milligrams. I'm trying to let myself get my hopes up. Maybe part of my depression has been denying myself anticipation of happiness. You stop myself. Okay, so it seems like this is just generally like a video about how... Oh, shit, wait. I'm really... Wait, he's asking his fans if he should not follow the instructed dose? That's a little cringe. Why would you ask your fan base that question? That's really cringe. I don't like that. That's like some dream level shit. Why do all these uwu soft boy massive clout YouTubers always do this kind of shit?
him. And over the last year, Boyinaband has been completely silent, and a lot of people have wondered what exactly happened to him. Well, recently, a group of girls ended up coming forward detailing his alleged abuse on his subreddit. Dave from Boyinaband, over a decade of abuse underneath an almost perfect public persona. Dear fans of Dave from Boyinaband, first of all, thank you for your time and understanding. We want you to know that we intended and tried to handle this as privately and as quietly as possible. Some time ago, a group of his ex-partners wrote a letter to his family in hopes of stopping the outgoing pattern of abuse. Below, you can read that letter. We know there were more victims of his in the past, and if you're one of them,
The fact that they wrote a letter to his family before they made a public thing and tried to handle it privately is definitely a good sign. If it is actually true that it was like handled, that they like reached out to the family and everything, that does seem a little, that does sound like maybe like a family member can confirm that. That'd be interesting. Seems like BS if you ask me. He's innocent. He's innocent. Okay, so we've clearly just got a troll in the chat. Ban. Oh, wait, I know who this is. This is that Nazi person from before. I recognize their name because they've got Freya in it. Come on, mods. You got to get on top of banning these people when you see them. Christ.
them and we didn't find you before, message us. All we want to do is tell you that you're not alone and that none of it was your fault. Thank you. Dear Brown family, friends, and fans of Dave from Boyinaband, we apologize for contacting you this way. We are a group of girls who knew and dated David in real life for, depending on the person, 1 to 6 years. Some of us met some of you personally. We know you love David and want to see him as a good person and a role model. We were also the people who once loved him and cared about him deeply. We understand that you want to see him happy. Still, decades of enabling his abusive behavior have led to many horrific and dangerous situations that included years of lies, manipulation, and emotional, financial, physical, and even sexual abuse of many young girls. As you know, David is now a 35-year-old polyamorous man with over a decade of provable history of dating girls much younger than him, including his highly gullible, obsessive young fans.
I can definitely believe that a popular figure like him who does music content with such a sycophantic young audience of mostly of a lot of young girls might potentially have that opportunity. That's not completely out of it's not out of the realm of reality, I suppose.
You know, he once dated Rachel, who was 17 when he was 23. Rachel was a fan of his band and fell in love with him when she was just 15 years old. David ended up hitting her and telling that to at least 2 of his future girlfriends, which we can also prove.
This is so narrativized. I mean, damn, you guys are like already like off the bat before the it's even ended. You guys are already saying it's not true. Holy fuck. Guys, wait, Panic Stasis, do you already know about these allegations? Zan, I read the post, it seems real. Yeah, like, I haven't seen this yet. I'm watching this along with you guys. Why are there people in chat already saying this doesn't seem legit? What are you doing? Whatever happened to taking these things seriously? I'm not saying he's wrong, but it's narratived? What do you... Like, there... That's just how you write something. What are you talking about? What do you mean by narrativized? Okay. Alright.
Let us add that this relationship in many countries would be considered as pedophilia. There are 2 videos on his channel that include 17-year-old Rachel. In one, he brags about waking up next to her. In the second, he makes her sing a song with the following lyrics: "Take me without my consent." And I'll play that right now.
Okay, feel free to post your track as a video response to this one. Now it's time to sit back and take a listen to the final finished 7-day dance pop song.
Take me without my consent.
That You know what this reminds me of? It it reminds me of that one, like, I forget who made it, but there was this sketch that I watched from like some TikToker. It had millions of views. And it was like the police were investigating a guy who they thought was like a serial killer, rapist, cannibal, like wears the skin of their victims and makes their bones into furniture level of like evil person, right? And they go to this person. They're like, we suspect that you may be, we think you may be a suspect in this. And I was like, now what would you have to possibly make you believe I would be that kind of person? And it's like listing all of their social. Well, you wrote a song about how much you love eating people and killing them, and how much you like filleting them alive. Here on your Facebook, you liked a post from Cannibals Anonymous. Yeah, here you yeah. It's just not good optics. It's just not good optics, to say the least. I'm really trying to remember the name of that skit YouTuber. He's really funny.
Me without my consent.
He has a pattern of preying on his young fans after they admire him and write to him on his social media. He starts to date them. He then tells them how much he loves them, that they are replaceable, and finally discards them for new ones as soon as they disagree or refuse to do whatever he wants. Most of these encounters include him renting an Airbnb to be with those girls for a few weeks, then discarding them. We know
I'd like to see some evidence besides like the video that we saw, which very well, like, that's definitely some sussy lyrics. But then again, it is just, a song, right? Like, it could just be distasteful lyrics. The story behind it, though, that we got is certainly a little problematic. But I'd like to see some evidence so far, like maybe some DMs or something. I don't know if we get any of that later, but so far we haven't gotten any. But I'm going to take it so far with the assumption that we're going to see some evidence later in the video. And if we don't, I'm going to feel a little bit... I'll be a little upset if we don't see some screenshots or, something a little more smoking gun.
know this is difficult for you to read, but it needs to be said. He also has a provable porn addiction.
I guess I won't be upset. I guess I'll just be a little bit... It's hard to talk about these things when there isn't a decisive answer. And so if there isn't a decisive answer, it's a lot harder to come to a conclusion on something like this. So if there isn't some hard evidence, then I'm more or less left with, like, why do you keep saying provable when you didn't leave any evidence? How am I supposed to, like, I don't know how I'm supposed to take this seriously, A provable porn addiction, though. Let's find out about that.
Includes him being attracted to pre-teenage girls, women who dress to look like children, abusive porn, and assaults. He's a hebephile. It's sickening, especially considering that he dedicated his career to helping struggling young people and ended up harming many of them. Many of his past partners ended up in years of therapy due to the trauma caused by David. He has a pattern of dating and sleeping with a specific group of girls, younger. Most of his recent girlfriends were 10 or more years younger than him, over whom he has power and control and who will never be his equals. What we mean by that is young, poor girls, often students with no careers yet, whom he can impress by his success and money. He exclusively chooses girls with a vast gap in money and influence so he can manipulate and mold them. Most of them were too scared to speak about it due to this reason. His preferences also include a physical superiority over his partners, looking very young, pre-adolescent, usually very skinny, and if not, he encourages them to lose weight, calling them lazy and disgusting. That's from a man who made a song with Jaded Animations to help girls with anorexia.
That's pretty fucking scathing. Let's see some proof.
Now, speaking of that song he made with Jaded Animations, it appears that she has actually removed that song off of her YouTube channel. Now,
Interesting. So that may be coincidence, but it's not a good sign. Lamau Zan doesn't know about the Mufat twit longer. Don't you try to fucking Ligma joke me, Panic Stasis. I don't trust you. Mufat sounds way too much like it could be Mufat dick in your ass or something, you know? That sound, I don't know. I everything now just sounds like it's gonna be a Ligma joke. What? My brain is poisoned. Okay, you're not gonna get me. No one can get me with a Ligma joke because I think everything's gonna be a Ligma joke. I'm always prepared.
This may be completely unrelated. It's entirely possible that maybe she just didn't like the song
Zan is too good, fuck.
However, with this coming out, it is definitely kind of suspicious that that song has been removed. He coerced multiple young girls into being polyamorous, even if it was something they had never considered before him. He advertises it as a superior way of living, which is highly inappropriate, if not abusive.
Oh, whoa. Okay, this seems a little weird where we're getting into now. So he coerced... Okay, so coercing girls into being polyamorous is not good. No type of coercion is good. Even if it was something they had never considered before. I think there's a difference between... Like, for example, let's say you're like, hey, would you like to try out a polyamorous relationship? Is that cool with you? And be like, oh, I've never considered that before. I'll think about it. Okay, let me know what you think. And then, they come back like, yeah, I considered what you asked me. Yeah, I'm down with that. Like, if that's very different than coercing people into a polyamorous relationship. So I'm going to assume, based on the wording, that he was very pushy, and that's what they mean. And when they say that he had advertised it as a superior way of living, this is also in reference to the coercion, and that this is what they're referring to as being inappropriate and abusive. Which, yeah, I'm assuming they don't mean that like him saying that polyamory is superior is inappropriate and abusive, which would be a pretty weird political bent to include in allegations like this.
He tells his partners that they're replaceable, disappears if they don't do everything he wants, and treats them with zero empathy. They mean nothing to him outside of his pleasure, his wants, and his entertainment. When girls want to leave, he either blocks them before they can confront him, or uses his depression and suicidality as cards to force them to stay until he gets bored of them. He uses his depression to control girls by justifying why he treats them like garbage or playing the victim card. He refuses to take any personal responsibility and accountability for how cruel, vindictive, callous, hurtful, and abusive he is. If you ever wondered why years of therapy never really helped him, it's because he cannot face who he really is, and he's unable to take ownership of the things he did, painting himself in bright light in front of his therapist. Over the last few years, he repeatedly mixed his medications, including antidepressants/ADHD medication, with whiskey and weed. He used, abused, and left so many girls that he could, at this point, write an alphabet from the first letters of
that bit there does kind of line up with him asking his fans if he should like self-medicate up his dose. I'm not saying that is evidence. I'm saying it does fit, I guess. I'm once again hoping we can see some screenshots and some harder smoking gun evidence
of their names. Please remember, he advertises himself as a male feminist to the entire world, while in reality, he's an abuser of multiple young girls. He acts similarly with his friends, treating them badly as replaceable, lying about them to make himself look good or to get what he wants. For example, when after having no contact for more than a decade with his bandmates, out of the blue, he tweeted,
yeah, it would represent a pattern of behavior if this is true.
That they used to ignore his self-harm, which was a lie, confirmed and confronted by his bandmates on Twitter and on Reddit years ago. Darren admitted that they talked after and both apologized, but Dave never acknowledged that and left that tweet on his front page for almost 2 years now, sending his Twitter mob on his past friends who have normal lives. And Dave got thousands of sympathy tweets from young girls that strongly relate to the problem of self-harm. He does things like that to get attention and pity all the time.
I can probably believe that. I can probably believe that. That is There are a lot of content creators with the uwu soft boy aesthetic that have kind of really blown up with like young Gen Z girls that do kind of, this has always kind of been a thing, that will kind of semi-glorify self-harm and depression. Not in the sense that they talk about it positively, but in the sense that they're overwhelming discussion of it ends up giving the impression that, like, almost like this FOMO impression about like being depressed and like engaging in self-harm and whatnot. Wasn't there like a thing that was similar to this, like glamorizing it a little bit? That's a better way of saying it, Asuka. Was this like a meme or like a 4chan psyop, or was this real? The cutting for Bieber thing? Like, wasn't there a thing where like there were like teenage girls cutting like Justin Bieber's name into their wrist, or was that fake? I feel like that might have been fake. Was that real? I'm trying to remember if that was fucking real. That was a 4chan op? It was fake? Sounds fake? I don't know. Was that fake? Hold on. I feel like that had to be fake. This is an old one. Has to be a psyop. Huh. No, the first thing that comes up is an independent article. Disturbing bloody images have appeared on Twitter which appear to show wounds self-inflicted by Justin Bieber fans. The hashtag cut for Bieber began to trend on the site as dozens of gory images. This had to have been a psyop. Nah, this couldn't be real. There's no way this is real. Nah, let me look at the images. Yeah, well, obviously that image is fake. Holy shit. Oh, wow. Okay, this was very clearly a psyop. Holy shit. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like a more toned down version of what that was meant to satirize could absolutely be believable in some insular, like, community of boy in a bands. I remember that, like, Corpse Husband, who's sort of in that same area of content creators, if you know what I mean, like, didn't he, like, post a video on Instagram that was just a black screen and him breathing? And it got like 400,000 likes or something and 4 million views. And they're just comments from these 13-year-old Corpse Husband fans saying, "Oh my God, please marry me, please. I want to have your kids. Oh my God." Ah. Like, wasn't that a thing? I don't know. I'm not saying that's what this guy has done, but I can kind of, I can see it. I can see it, is all I'm saying.
Again, we are sorry that you had to read it. We're not his haters, not witch hunters, and not strangers. We don't want anything. We're not interested in being associated with him anyway.
Hey, Jaden, what's up? I'm watching your video right now, stealing your content. By the way, Xander, something I found out after the video is his girlfriend actually made a diss track on him after he worked with PewDiePie. She doesn't claim much, but it sort of lines up with this. Interesting, Jaden. Very interesting. Very interesting. The creator of this video, by the way, is in YouTube chat. Say hello.
All we want to do is warn his young fans about what can happen to them. Like you, we used to care about him, but he has to be stopped. Ours and yours enabling of this has to stop. He needs to face himself and meet the responsibility for the people he hurt before even more young girls get severely damaged, which they will then carry for the rest of their lives. Depression cannot be used as an excuse to treat people this way, treating any human being.
All right. So, something I want to point out here is that the framing of this is not one in which the accusers here, or accuser, assuming this is all made up, could get anything to gain from this than attention and or the spite of ruining Boy in a Band. There does not seem to be any financial gain or any tangible, like, physical gain to get from this, like to lie about something like this. It doesn't seem like the person making these accusations is like a large public figure who's like including links to donate or anything like that here. It seems more like a call for making the accusations public more so than, like, they don't even draw any attention to who made this. It seems like the post is mostly meant to be made behind anonymity. Who made the video? Jaden, in YouTube chat. All right, let's continue.
This way is inexcusable. Nobody has been left by him unharmed. Below, you can find a little bit of proof of how he treated people, confirmed and proven by multiple of his ex-girlfriends.
All right, here we go.
Hurt and replaced over the years. We know that you care
Let's
about
see
the
it.
persona he made for himself on the internet. We know you want him to be happy, but he's not happy. He destroys people. He's an abuser, a groomer, a hebephile. We know this is hard. We never wanted to do this. But what about those girls? What about future ones? They're people. This needs to stop. He needs to be stopped, please, sincerely. What started as 5 girls is now way in the double digits. P.S. Let this be a lesson about romanticizing those who are mentally ill, especially with a young audience. We think and talk about depression when someone is sad all the time or suicidal. We never talk about the ugly parts of it, of how people like that can be manipulative, abusive, and can hurt people. And the voice—
Damn, that's a red pill I'm not sure if my audience can swallow right there. Oof. Oh. Listen, guys, I've gotten canceled hardcore for talking about this, but yes, people with mental disabilities can in fact be abusive pieces of shit, and in many cases, it can be due in large part to that mental disability. It happens. I know this, like, maybe nowadays, like, my chat now wouldn't be as hostile to this idea, but I don't think you realize, like, back in 2020, this concept got me mega canceled by, like, the woke scolds. I don't think you realize how much I was called ableist for implying that abuse, depression, and mental disability, combined or on their own, can lead to or be the reason for abusive behavior. Yeah, it's surprising. A lot of people are not capable of acknowledging that, because it feels as though if you acknowledge that, then you're implicitly saying that, like, every person with mental disability is some kind of, like, ticking time bomb or something, or that you're making, like, a broad statement about a whole bunch of people. But yeah, I don't know.
Voices of those they hurt along the way also need to be heard, and this pattern of behavior needs to stop. If we can stop just one girl from ending up hurt, I'll sleep better at night. Please do the same. Thank you. And here they provide several DMs from anonymous victims. I'm so glad to see this being talked about publicly. He's abusive and dehumanizing to many of the women he dates.
Yes, okay, please, thank God. Okay, thankfully, there is a Zoomer media thing that people like that I can pull to. I've never seen BoJack Horseman, but BoJack Horseman is depressed and also a piece of shit and does horrible things. Isn't he, like, a fucking pedophile? Wasn't there, like, a time where he, like, nearly had sex with, like a 17-year-old or something? Like, yeah, like, he's a piece of shit. So I feel like, yeah, like, I think the issue is that there's this important gray area between the white of those that think that mental disability is an excuse and completely dissolves all responsibility for one's actions that are negative, and those that think that, like, everybody who has a mental disability or anything along those lines is, like, a ticking time bomb on the edge of, like, engaging in that same behavior themselves and becoming an abuser or something. There's, like, a gray area, right, where you acknowledge that, like, certain things can be cyclical, sometimes not. It is a complicated subject. Zan, have you seen Chris Hansen's newest video? It's about this exact topic. It would be good content to go over. Chris Hansen kind of fell off. I'm not sure if I feel happy about platforming him. I'll have to look into privately if he's, like, not as much of a shitter now.
He dates young women from his fan pool and pushes the sexual boundaries of others. He shouldn't be anywhere near young women, or women frankly. Every single woman reading this who fancies him or is dating him, etc. deserves better. What he has become makes me feel sick. Same. What even more disgusting is the covering of all of this with poor mental health. Like, it's an excuse for everything, making some of the girls
Okay.
feel like, well, he was honest about his depression, so maybe I should have known that that can happen. Maybe I just don't understand depression, but being physically and sexually abusive doesn't get magically erased because of his mental health. There is a place for people like that. Mental hospital for the criminally insane. He was massively hung up on her in a very creepy way, said he liked to hurt her, and was obsessed with how young she acted. She's very short. He asked me to kiss her. I later told him it felt like kissing a child, and that I was very uncomfortable. He said that's what he liked about her. I'm going to back my chats with this girl and compiling more screenshots. She was 17, recently turned 18. Dave was 27. It was odd because I knew they would probably had something going on given he was poly, and she was head over heels for him. But with me, he always handled it as her being the one obsessing over him and him just accepting it because why not? He made me cook and clean the whole time I stayed with him in
Nah, dude. Okay. Nah, that's fucking bullshit. You know what you know what I do? If like I get a DM on Twitter and it's like someone saying, "You're so cute, hi," or some like very clearly flirtatious shit like that, and then I hover over their username and their bio says like 17 or something, I block them. You don't just accept that like someone who's underage is head over heels for you. If that's like a situation that happens, you just fucking block them. Especially as a content creator. Like that happens. When you're like any level of famous, that does happen. And you just block. You hit the block button. You don't fuck around with that shit. There is absolutely no good intention that can come from, oh, well, I guess I'll just accept it. This 17-year-old is head over heels for me.
Anywhere to earn my keep. And you know why it makes sense now? Because what woman who is age appropriate for him would put up with that shit? Only young girls who don't know any better. Exactly, he would justify everything with some women would be happy with this. This is what my mom does, and she's clearly happy. Like, okay, your mom is clearly mentally ill. Clear threats about being replaceable too, like if you don't like it, I'll find someone who will. And you knew he could just bump up any other girl he was seeing and make good on it. He does the same with friends. As soon as someone isn't going to put up with his behavior, he's gone to other ones, except for his famous friends. What a complete waste of life. There's worse stuff to be honest, but it's hard to talk about. I will just say he's the reason I know the definition of hebephile. And it looks like right here they're saying that he would...
Wait, I always thought it was ephebophile. Have I been saying it wrong this whole time? I thought it was E-P-H-E-B file, what all that shit. Huh. It starts with an H? I thought there was like a silent E-P at the beginning. Well, there you go. Hebephile basically means like, it's functionally in our society we treat hebephile and pedophile the same thing. It is a hebephile? Oh, okay, maybe okay, I guess they spelled it wrong. We basically treat it like it's the exact same thing because functionally it is. Essentially, it's like attraction to people that are like in their teens, you know, not so much children. The problem with it is that generally there's just the same crossover, right? Like you don't want adults going after teenagers for a variety of reasons, from like having to do with like mental development and being incapable of consenting to like I don't think there's a single like 16-year-old out there that is capable of having a responsible relationship even if they were mentally developed with somebody who's older. I mean, listen, I was 19, all right? And I wasn't capable of having a responsible relationship with somebody who was like 10 years older than me. You know, people can lie and take advantage of those that are younger because they have more life experience. You know, that's what happened to me in my last relationship. That's just the type of shit that happens. There are just so many reasons why these types of relationships are problematic that goes beyond like icky, you know? It is icky, but there are reasons beyond it being icky why it's bad.
make them pay their rents for sexual favors. It's never explicitly laid out like that, but it's what happens. And there is over like 60 of these claims. And if you want to go check it out, I will link this in the description down below.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
All I'm gonna say is that if any of this is true, this guy needs to be stopped. And it's horrifying to think
Indeed.
he got away with this for so long and could continue to get away with this. Anyway, these are just my thoughts on this entire situation. If you guys have enjoyed, be sure to hit the like button down below and subscribe to the channel.
Well, there you go. You should do that. Jaden makes good content. Let's go check out the screenshots from the description really fast. Wow, there's definitely evidence, it seems, to back that stuff up. Wow. Here's the Reddit thread. Whew. So glad he's being talked about publicly. He's abuse, dehumanizing so many women. He dates young women. Handful and pushes the sexual boundaries of others. He shouldn't be anywhere near young women or any woman, frankly. Every single woman reading this who fancies him or is dating him, etc., deserves better. So that makes me feel sick. This is what we saw before. He made me cook, clean the whole time I stayed with him in person anywhere to earn my keep. Fuck, and you know, it also makes sense now because what woman who is age appropriate for him? We saw that one. I was one of those he tried to convince that being poly would be great for me, that monogamy is dumb, and that I will never be in a normal relationship because of my job, so being poly would benefit me, and even his parents support it. I'm just so emotionally tired. I was just scared everyone else would hurt me like he did, SMH, but he was calling me replaceable. What a piece of shit. This is all, you know, in line with what was said in the post. That's not only for his GFs. He's jealous of anything good that happens in someone's life. He was jealous of me loving my job and being passionate about it, saying stuff like, you'll end up burned out like I did, or whenever I got blank, something great happened, and I would tell him when we played games, he would congratulate me and then ignore me for weeks. What the fuck? Load 52 more images. Oh my lord. Fuck. Do we read all these? Later, then he tried to cheat on his fiance and had to cheating until afterwards. And so he could get this. I yelled at him. Shit, I was letting him open, bitch. They were engaged. He kept saying he thought that they were only marrying for a visa. Wait, he was cheating, and then that's how he brought about, like, This is about how he would force girls into anorexia. Okay, then this makes sense why Jaden would have taken down the song that was literally meant to help young girls with anorexia and body image issues. The fact that Jaden took down her song that she did, Jaden Animations, not Jaden, the person we just watched. Jaden Animations took down the song that she did with Boyinaband is starting to look a little bit more. This part is about him being attracted. Like, they're including, like, bits here and, like, censoring stuff that's being talked about. Like, I will say, as somebody who has had to catalog screenshots and, like, collect evidence like this myself for videos and exposés, this seems very legit to me. These don't seem faked. Like, because people in these screenshots are, like, talking about and mentioning things that need to be censored. Like, there are things that have to be, like, clarified on the side that, like, if you were just faking screenshots, you would just be clear in the fake screenshots. There's just so fucking many. These are Reddit screenshots. Across so many platforms, text, Reddit, Instagram. Another text app. I can also confirm that he coerced multiple younger girls into being poly, and it has been going on for years. I worked on scripts for some of his videos for a while years ago. He was so messed up and he did something unpleasant to me too, mainly though. I just got to see how saturated in porn he is, how destructive he is, and how much he hurts people. I warned people I know about him, but he was still involved with my friend at the time, and my main concern was always her. So that's the porn addiction stuff. Ooh. What if they're 8 steps ahead of you, Zan? I don't know, guys. This is pretty solid, guys. This is pretty solid. This is pretty damn solid. I am Rachel. I'm 17. I've just finished my first year. What is this? My boyfriend has a website called Boyinaband for on tuna. Oh no! Wait, what year is this? June 2016. He was like well into his 20s dating this 17-year-old. It's legal in the UK, but like still so fucking weird. And to me demonstrative of like it is, if a guy is going, even if it's legal, if a dude who's like, what, 26, 27 back in 2016, if my math is right, approximately, is dating a 17-year-old, that is clear evidence that he is aiming, like, down, looking for girls that both look young and are literally incapable of having the ability to operate on their own without his help. It completely lines up with what's in the rest of these accusations about him isolating and making girls like reliant on him, both emotionally and financially. 17 is still a minor here, so it's kind of legal, but really fucking weird. How's the law in the UK? All I know is that, like, I thought the law in the UK was 16 was the age of consent, and I heard that and I was like, cringe. Probably shouldn't be that. Should probably be higher. So it is 16? What did I get wrong then? It is legal for an over 18 to have sex with anyone under 18? In the UK? That's good, but I thought 16 was the age of consent though in the UK. Who's wrong here? It's 2010 and not legal? These are from 2009. This is from 2016. These are from different, like, these are from different Wayback Machine sources here. 16-year-olds can have sex with each other, but over 18-year-olds cannot cross the age of maturity. Okay, well, that's good. I guess that's good. You don't want any teens. Is this all of it? Explore posts? I think this is all of it. Fuck. Dude, has he responded? Has he yet to respond? So the Virgil Texas not responding to his allegations thing was pretty scathing. Let's see. Any Twitter activity from Boyinaband? So I will say, one of the first accounts that came up was a Boy in the Band fan account owned by a 14-year-old. That's grim. That's grim. Does he even have a Twitter? I'm not seeing his Twitter come up. I assume he has an Instagram. Or maybe he's axed his social media. That would be fucking crazy if he's gone and fully axed his social media. Boy in a band. There he is. He has not posted since April 7th, 2021. He has been, it appears, pretty goddamn dead on social media and has not acknowledged any of this from the looks of it. Xanderhall, check your Shaunalite Lika's YouTube. She spoke out about what he did to them a few years ago. Shawnalika. That sounds like it's gonna be a fucking Ligma joke. Okay, good. It wasn't a Ligma joke. Listen, guys, I'm sorry, but, like, you have to understand. You have to understand. Okay. Alright, what is this? Dissing my ex. Response to congratulations by PewDiePie and Boyinaband. Alright, see this.
Never mind the poor people, we're just here to party. You won't hold my interest unless you're followed by an army. Are you sitting comfortably? Here comes a story from behind the scenes. Behind the scenes. Hey babe, guess who I've got a collab with? The biggest, or is it the second biggest channel on the planet? Oh, okay, well I don't know what to say. I want to tell you to stop, but I guess it's not my place. So baby doll, I don't wanna make you sad, but platforming the alt-right is really, really bad. And I
Wait. I don't know if PewDiePie's alt-right. I don't know if I agree with that. I think he's stupid and fucked up, but like he and platformed alt-righters himself. But I guess I understand that she had an issue with it and maybe he was just disregarding it. Doesn't he follow Keem? Who? I thought PewDiePie was a Nazi. A lot of lefties do because they just heard it and decided to go with it, but he's probably not a Nazi. The evidence for PewDiePie being a Nazi is not very strong. The instances where PewDiePie has talked about politics, like unprompted and with no particular eyes on him or reason to lie about his beliefs, he has displayed quite left-wing beliefs. And not only left-wing, but like left-wing beliefs that are informed. You know, like not like your average TikToker just repeating like left-wing talking points, but like it seemed like he was actually informed about the fact that, like, for example, the claims in Europe about how like immigration from the Middle East and Africa are, you know, like those immigrants are like raping and murdering everybody and causing crime in Sweden, for example. He was like, it's funny because it's actually white European immigrants that cause all the crime in Sweden and not any of the non-white immigrants. Like, he was like breaking down stats and like debunking alt-right talking points back in 2014. I don't know. I maybe he's gotten into philosophy in the last few years. I haven't seen more of his like recent content, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but from what I've seen, when he talks overtly about politics, it seems to be like actually well-informed left-wing stuff, and the evidence that he is alt-right comes from things like he made a joke, he platformed a YouTuber who filled their videos with dog whistles that are pretty easy to miss. If you're not like very aware of Nazi dog whistles here in America. He like said a slur, and oh boy, if saying the N-word is your like qualification for being a Nazi, I hope none of you guys are Vosh fans. No, listen, you know, PewDiePie got tactical on the bridge. You know, he got a little tactical. In all seriousness, like, is there evidence that he's got problematic beliefs? Yes. Is there evidence that he's a Nazi? I don't think so. I don't think he's a Nazi. That's a little bit far.
for your opinion, end of conversation. And after that you were even more mysteriously silent. In the endless void, you've got me questioning, is it right for me to think you should care about what I think? Never normally would doubt it, but here what was I expecting? You're a rich, successful white guy, and I'm this thing. Only speak to me when I will see you as a savior. Express intense emotion, then completely disappear.
Actually, to be fair, when did this come out? 3 years ago? This was in 2016, right? Was this 2016 or 2017? This would have been during like the height of like the right-wing era online. So it kind of makes sense that she'd be a little bit sensitive to, especially as like if we're looking at the things that she listed: queer, vegan, disabled, SJW, unsuccessful, trans, and POC. These things will generally get you a lot of shit on the internet. They go by they, them. I apologize. Sorry, Krisha CZ. Why are you yelling at me, chat? Don't act like what the right stereotypes the left to be, okay? Anyway, like, these identities will typically get you a lot of, like, harassment and hate on the internet, especially during that time period. So I can kind of see some of these complaints she's making being real, especially at that time.
Only speak to me when I will see you as a savior. Express intense emotion, then completely disappear. Seems I miss you, go for friends with power, never partners, but say you're a feminist. For the camera, too nice, I might be like not listen to, too strong. I'm told I'm wrong, dismiss my view. Can you walk a mile when you're
This goes harder than Boyinaband's diss track with PewDiePie. Like, this actually goes harder. I'm not just saying that either. Like, in my opinion, this actually has better flow and goes harder and sticks in my head better. Like, after listening to this, I have the beat of this stuck in my head and can hardly recall the beat of what was it even called? The fucking the diss track that iDubbbz and PewDiePie and Boyinaband did on who was it? Fucking Rice Gum? I don't know. I think this actually goes harder. I think it does. It flows better.
feet don't fit my shoes, so what can I do? What can
I forgot it was called Asian Jake Paul. Yeah, that's a 2017 video. That's correct. I'm making my bed. Thank you, Certainty. I'll be there in a minute.
I do? They thought you were doing something that you shouldn't, so you actually did. Was it meant to be a point there? It didn't really hit. Don't want to toe the line, just poke it. That way nobody will notice. But make sure you're not too careless. Seal the deal with self-awareness. Anything you say is okay if you acknowledge it is wrong. Well, it only ever works if you do it in the song. Should every comedy show come with a joke explaining leaflet? The context should be obvious without reading the small print. You said you wanted to help as many people as possible. Now you're focused on the many and the help is kinda tailed off. It's already disgusting with the undertone you go for. And the bench up hero thing, well, that's just casually glossed over. So great, in the end you didn't defend it. I was kinda hoping you would take a stand against it. Oh wait.
Did Boyinaband defend PewDiePie platforming Ben Shapiro? This is a better, like, political call-out than anything. They're going hard as fuck! This is they made a fantastic, like political takedown here. Like, I don't know how I didn't hear about this, because, like, I mean, I'm a political content creator, and this is a full-on political takedown diss track that they've done here. I've never seen something like this happen. Why isn't there anyone on the left doing this? Like, political diss track takedowns. This is what we need. This is what we need.
That wouldn't bring you any benefit. I forgot the new you just doesn't give a shit. Wish I could condense my life experience down into a form that you could easily digest. But even then I think that I'd be met with some resistance, cause really understanding me just isn't in your interest. It's difficult to dismiss, for I'm an SJW robot. Analyze the problem, illustrate it in a flow chart. There's logic to my reasons. When we talk you can't defeat them. Oh, I see why you're avoiding me and blaming it on depression. In the time you were here I've been hospitalized. Are you seriously saying you can stop, say hi? You're off recording music bits but can't send any messages? Or maybe you could see the incongruity that's having your eyes on that prize while your dick's in me. It's pretty clear you didn't want my opinion, and Indian queers would be very inconvenient. At worst this hurts minorities, at best it's just pointless. You used to be different, now you're just a disappointment. I'm not saying social justice should be what every creator does. If you want to just be stupid, I guess that's fair enough. All I'm asking you is not to make things worse, cause you're standing at the side watching us get hurt.
This definitely absolutely backs up what was in those allegations. This came out years ago, almost 4 years ago. It works. Like, a lot of the things I'm hearing mentioned definitely fit the pattern and fit the bill that we had presented to us with those screenshots in that Reddit post. This is hitting pretty hard on several different levels.
I've other friends who are depressed, it doesn't seem to make them dicks. No wonder you lose interest when nothing matters but the clicks. The red flags were there, yet I couldn't quite accept it. Not you who I had cared for, trusted and respected. What's the final goal in your personal progression? He who wants the world and is making it a worse one. No state that you could be and mitigates how you've been acting. Or loss increased your millions, did it even make you happy? Too nice, I might be like not listened to. Too strong, I'm told I'm wrong, dismiss my view. Can you walk a mile when your feet don't fit my shoes? So what can I do? What can I do? You've been obsessing too long, can't think of a song by anything but its numbers. You've got your own personal car system and I know just where I sit there. Right down at the bottom to you, I'm less than no one. Knew you wanted to be hated still, didn't realize that you meant me, David.
I'm sold. Yeah, I think, like, if I'm being honest with you guys, I think it's, yeah, I think the evidence is pretty fucking strong. Like, that's from nearly 4 years ago. That's one of his exes calling him out, like, for things that align very well with the things talked about in this post and the evidence included in the Emger screenshots. Damn. Holy shit. I really hope this gets more attention. That's part of why I'm covering this. I really want this to get more attention so that people actually know what the fuck is going on and aren't going to allow this dude. Hopefully YouTube will do something about it. Because the really unfortunate reality is, until he's banned, he will be able to use his popularity and his platform to do this to other people. All right, dropping the link to Shanalika's channel in the chat. Go subscribe, go ring the bell icon, and frankly, go send support to that goddamn diss track because it needs to go viral, especially with the content that's going out now. I really feel the only, I guess the only positive that comes out of this situation is that we discover a baller new left-wing, musically talented YouTube channel. We got that out of it. Like this channel needs to. We gotta bring them into the fold, guys. What I've never heard them mentioned before in any lefty community content creator like lineup. And they got 45,000 subs and are making content this good, calling people out and making left. Yeah. I did like the diss track. The diss track went hard. I actually think it went better than Boyinaband's diss track with iDubbbz and PewDiePie. It actually was better. And I'm not just saying that because of political agreement, or the fact that Boyinaband has now been exposed as like an abuser and a piece of shit. I legitimately do feel that way. Same. Nah, Boyinaband's diss tracks go hard. I didn't say Boyinaband's diss tracks don't go hard. I just said that I like theirs better. Stay mad. Now, Xanderhall, the new lefty content creator superstar, is going to be that guy with the ridiculous mustache that made the failed hit piece on you. Well, that wouldn't surprise me, considering that the online left tends to favor very stupid people that don't really have the ability to... you know, operate without what it seems to, without like AA batteries being put into their brains twice a day. It's like their brains will just power off, it seems, like legitimately steam powered brain. Yeah, it happens. We got Hassan. Is that why Vosh is popular? No, Vosh is the exception. ContraPoints too. Nah, nobody likes Mule. Listen, guys. Never underestimate the ability for the online left to fall for the uwu soft boy aesthetic and believe the most stupid shit imaginable, as long as it's presented in a good way. Come on, Zan, diversity of tactics. We want dumb people voting left. Oh yeah, man, I should just totally be okay with that guy trying to, like, with several larger YouTubers trying to slander me and ruin my career. Yeah, man, I should just be totally fine with that, because diversity of tactics, you know? Yeah, like, bro, just let them lie about you. When they see the videos shit talking you, they'll end up subscribing and then agreeing with the left. So it's actually resulting in overall good in the world if you let Noah Samson and Thought Slime and those other pieces of shit slander you. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Go to hell. And Ingy Bingy 2000, thank you for the $5 super chat. I really appreciate that, friend. That's very kind of you. Says your plans to move to Seattle. You got to check out Nick Zetner. He's a geologist with videos and lectures about Washington State. Interesting. Might be able to learn about a little bit of Washington State geology. Well, thank you. Thank you for the $5. Anyway, go subscribe to Shanalika. Wait, do they have a Twitter? I want to follow them on Twitter. Like, we're bringing this content creator into the fold. I don't, like, they haven't uploaded in, like, a year. But holy fuck. Go send support. Pog. There we go. Go subscribe. Go follow on Twitter. All the good stuff. Anyway, what are your thoughts, guys? What do you think about these allegations? I'm going to be honest. I think the evidence is strong. I think the evidence is pretty damn fucking strong. Obviously, you don't want something like this to be true. Like, in a perfect world, these allegations wouldn't be true. You don't want these things to have happened. You don't want this figure who's so beloved and has so much popularity to be such a monster. But unfortunately, you have to be willing to acknowledge when that's what the evidence suggests. And right now, it really looks like that's what the evidence suggests. Even if he is on hiatus from the internet, I think it's really important that he comes back to acknowledge these accusations. I actually think ignoring these accusations, even if they're untrue, would be quite harmful on I think if these allegations were untrue, they ruined his career, and then he just came out of the woodwork 3 years later to say, oh, by the way, they were all untrue, here's all the evidence. Can you imagine how the right would use that against the Me Too movement? So yeah, there is a responsibility, I think, if he has the ability to acknowledge these, both because, you know, he's having these allegations alleged against him, he needs to respond to them, and two, I think he has a responsibility, if they're false, to debunk them, because allowing false allegations to run amok harms victims. It harms real victims, though I do not think these are false allegations, and I do not think that his silence is some indication of him, you know, being too incompetent to show the evidence he has. What I think this is probably a Virgil Texas situation, where he got accused of sexual harassment and pedophilia and all that shit, and just disappeared for like over a year. How long's he been gone now? Like a year and 2 months now, I think? Something along those lines. There's 3 main layers of sediments in the... Okay, wait, why are you talking about sediment in the Puget Sound? Okay, if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like. I really appreciate it. It helps out the channel, my streams, my live content, and my content that goes up after the fact, both a lot more than you even realize. And of course, if you want to see more from me, be sure to follow my social media, linked down below, in pretty much every description of everything I have. And of course, if you want to support me financially a little bit more directly, you can do so on my website, xanderhall.com/live, in the form of a donation, a gifted sub, or even a subscription for yourself. Or you can even donate, subscribe, or do all those things over on YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, and even through Patreon. With all that said, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and have a good one.